Hello and welcome to the tutorial on how to use the Perspective Grid tool in Adobe Illustrator to create a cool 3D box as I've done here. Would you please start out by starting a new document, File New, and make it a square. I've made mine 10 inches by 10 inches. Now if you're familiar with Illustrator, you'll know that we can come over here to the Rectangle tool and create a regular old rectangle. I'm going to fix up some of my colors here, make it blue. But that's not quite what I'm interested in to create this cool perspective look. So I'm going to delete that. Come right over here to the Perspective Grid tool. When I click it, you'll see that this neat grid comes up that looks like it's in perspective. We've got 1, 2 vanishing points, so we know it's in 2-point perspective. And please notice that on this left side, all of these lines in this grid, which diminish and recede to this vanishing point, are blue, while on the right side, all of the lines in this grid diminish and recede to this right perspective point. Okay? I'd like my box to look like this. I'd like to be able to see the top. So what I'm going to do is take this horizon line. You can probably see it right here, that straight line going through the back. If I pull on this farthest dot, I can pull that horizon line right up. And I'd like to pull my perspective points out a little bit farther because I feel like that makes it look a little more realistic. So here's my perspective point, my vanishing point. I'm just going to pull, 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 pull. I'm going to move over here. Click and pull, pull, pull. There we go. I think I'm happier with that. In order to help me visualize a little bit better this cube, I'm going to take this middle dot and pull it down below the horizon line. When it's below the horizon line, I know that I'll be able to see that top surface. So now I'll have a 3-sided cube. All right, here we go. Let's make our first rectangle. Select the rectangle tool. Make sure the grid is visible. Come to this very middle top point, click and drag. Okay, wow, I can tell that the rectangle is looking different. When I let go, it is in perspective. Now I've created this rectangle in blue to match with the blue side here for the left grid. I'd like to do my next one on the right grid, which they have color-coded orange, so I'll also make mine orange. I love color coding, don't you? I'm going to come right up here to this same spot. Top center, drag and release. Once again, it is perfectly in perspective. Okay, last but not least, we need this top square. So I am going to select rectangle. I'd like to choose a green because when I click on this horizontal grid, they have chosen green, and you'll see that these bottom lines going across are green. Come over here, wait till it says anchor, click and drag to the opposite corner, release when it says anchor. There we have it. That's a pretty good looking cube, don't you think? Last thing we have to do is get rid of the perspective grid. There's quite a few ways we can do this. We can select perspective tool, the perspective grid tool, and we can come right up here and click on the X for hide grid. We can also go to View, Perspective Grid, and Hide Grid. I like looking right here. I always like using the quick commands on my keyboard. So I know that I'm on a Mac, I'm gonna press Command-Shift-I, but if you are on a PC, you're gonna click Control-Shift-I to toggle between. Here we go, Control-Shift-I. I can go on and off. And there we have it, a lovely 3D cube using the wonderful, fantastic Perspective Grid tool.